This is a special event. It is the Heisman Trophy of defense. It is the award that gives back to a side of the ball that doesn't get as much glory. Thank you, Charlotte.
What a high level of excellence Bronco Nagurski brought to the game. He's an inspiration to anyone who loves the game of football.
My football story is not about playing for the Carolina Panthers. My football story is from the time I was 5 years old, all I ever wanted to do was play for Wayne Hills High School in northern New Jersey.
I was a part of something, and the purpose of what we were working for was greater than any one of us.
We come out every day to compete, and the only way we can get better is be, compete against each other hard.
It's important to note that sometimes the signs that we ask for are right there in front of us. Win or lose, there was always a message in there. It's about what we do with the adversity we face.
You can have a dream, but you better be prepared for that opportunity.
I want to thank you all once again for the millions of dollars that you have contributed. And I know while the focus of the Charlotte Touchdown Club might be football, the money that you provide enables multiple sports to benefit.
It's a lot of hard work. I mean, it's nothing is given. I mean, you have to earn everything.
Honored to be here today. You do such wonderful work. The funds you raise for scholarships around the area, that's wonderful.
A very heartfelt thank you to members of the Touchdown Club for your support of 16,000 plus students who you all are impacting annually. Studies show that GPAs and graduation rates are higher, absences and dropout rates are lower.
What I've learned in my life is you can accomplish anything in this world. If you want to do something bad enough, you'll find a way.
But it's important that everybody in this room and beyond understands that it starts with us. You see these kids on the come up, you gotta let them know.
Football was a gladiator sport. Only gladiators played football.
Tonight, you are going to get a glimpse of excellence of our finalists and what they have brought to this game. Their dedication, passion, and brute strength, along with their ability to make key plays during crucial moments in big games.
I believe that football is the greatest game that there is. It's the only game where people of all sizes, of all shapes, of all different talent levels can come together. And everyone have to execute their job. And I believe young people should play it. I believe it builds character. It teaches us how to sacrifice and be humble.
Life is all about when you get punched in the gut, finding a way to get up and dust yourself off and get back in the ring and just keep swinging, son. Just keep swinging.
Be here, be back in North Carolina, see all you Wolfpackers and all you others. Again, what you do with this organization, with John and so many that contribute, it really is awesome. Because as we all know, sports, it may be more important now than it's ever been. With these high schools and what it's doing to help facilitate and bring joy and some discipline and virtue, it's awesome.
And I think football is a lens and a window to our world, to our society when it comes to team. When you talk about together, everybody achieves more. There's nothing on that football field that's of accomplishment without the work of 10 other men.
Actually came in a couple years and worked at Rock Hill.
Learn a different discipline with each sport that you play, or different disciplines. You also get a chance to be around different kids with each sport, so you become more of a social chameleon.
Believe in you, believe in who you are and what you are, and it's a lot easier to make those decisions. And don't be afraid of the adversity. Sometimes the adversity is exactly what you need in order to succeed.
Football Writers Association of America and the Charlotte Touchdown Club are proud to present the 2020 Bronco Nagurski Trophy to Zaven Collins from the University of Tulsa.
Thank you to the Football Writers Association for presenting me this trophy and selecting me to be the Nagurski winner. Thank you to the Charlotte Touchdown Club and Lending Tree for entrusting with me and putting my name on the trophy. It really means a lot to me.
Growing up around the game, I have a deep and abiding respect for those who have paved the way. Bronco Nagurski was a true pioneer of our game.
All right, Charlotte Touchdown Club, how are we today? Doing good? Do we have any Carolina Panther football fans here today? We're on the clock, right? We're on the clock. We got 1 week and 8 hours. You hearing any good rumors? Who we taking? What are you hearing? C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Bryce Stroud, C.J. Young, combine them, you can't be wrong, get them all in. So I think you're right, quarterback is going to be definitely the way to go. And we have got great guests here today, as you know. We've got great food. We've got great prizes to give away as well. I'm Jim Zoki from WBT Radio, Radio 1, our table here. You're invited to the WFNZ live draft show, which is going to be, of course, next Thursday at Thomas Davis's place. Have you been yet? TD's place, 1058 uptown. Come on by and see us there for that as well. We've got 3 gold jackets with us here today, 2 of which are scheduled to speak somewhere. I haven't met him yet today. Of course, I met him. The first GM of the Carolina Panthers. Give it up for Bill Polian is here today. Where's Bill Polian's table? Back here? So Bill, of course, back in the day, the first year, 1995, Panthers had the first pick in the draft. And this is, Bill, how much time has passed and how old we are. Back then, the Panthers traded down for a quarterback, and the Bengals traded up for a running back. If you remember, Kajana Carter, and we got Kerry Collins. That won't happen in this draft, that's for sure as well. We've got the great Donnie Shell from Rock Hill, South Carolina right here. Where's my Pittsburgh Steelers people? I figured being in Charlotte, there were lots of Pittsburgh Steelers people here, as there always are. And Donnie, of course, with the Panthers for 15 years as the Director of Player Development, himself a Pro Football Hall of Famer with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and a College Football Hall of Famer out of South Carolina State. And our keynote speaker, of course, is the great Tony Dungy, our 3rd gold jacket here today. We'll save the introduction for the great Tony Dungy coming up, because Donnie's going to help us do that in just a little while. But we appreciate you all being here today. And again, I want to thank you for being here. And to our sponsors here at the Charlotte Touchdown Club, Pinnacle Financial Partners, also Northwestern Mutual, and our great team at Radio 1. You see them out there with their afternoon program going on right now on WFNZ, Radio 1 with WBT and WFNZ. And without any further ado, we bring to you the Touchdown Club president, Mr. Josh Schlechte. Let's give it up for Josh.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the 2023 Touchdown Club Speaker Series. We're proud to kick off this year's luncheon today with NFL Hall of Fame coach Tony Dungy. We have a fantastic event planned for you today. 2023 Luncheon Speaker Series presenting sponsor, Pinnacle Financial Partners. A huge thanks to Rob Ellenberg for his continued generosity to the club. Today's luncheon sponsor, Northwestern Mutual. Thank you to Richard Worrell and his ongoing support of the club. Without that, we couldn't continue through. We have an outstanding lineup of luncheons and speakers throughout the summer and fall. Please look at our Twitter page and follow that for exciting events coming. We have John Smoltz as our next speaker. It will be an exciting event as well. In addition, we're extremely excited for the 2022 Coach of the Year, TCU's Sonny Dykes, to speak at this year's Nagurski. Should be an exciting event. We hope to see everyone there. As a club, we're extremely grateful to the more than 60 current sponsor teams for making the Touchdown Club the true great organization that it is today. Our special thanks goes to Rick Hughes, who I got an opportunity to speak to a few minutes ago, and just really understand that himself with Capital Group companies and their partnership of the Defender of the Nation Award, how much that means to him and how much it means to the club to have that as a new part that we've had for several years now, and watch how those young men move after they've won that award here. Also, with the Jim Hertwig for his partnership with the Nagurski Legends Award. That also is a special award that's been brought to the Nagurski Awards, and it's great to see those return legends each and every year. The core value in the creation of the Charlotte Touchdown Club is to be able to provide to local athletes and athletic programs. Thanks in large part to the club sponsor team, which is everyone in the crowd today. I'm very proud to pass on that since the club's inception in 1990, and a result of the generosity of everyone in this room, the club sponsor team, that nearly $3 million has been raised, not only raised, but donated to benefit high school, collegiate, and local youth programs throughout the Charlotte, North Carolina region. Everyone, please give a warm round of applause for that. Now on to the luncheon, so please enjoy your luncheon today.
I know Josh told you to eat, but time for our invocation. And Shannon Powell, the life coach, campus director for Fellowship of Christian Athletes at Wingate University, here to do that for us today. Please welcome Shannon Powell to the stage.
John Rocco, my friend, thank you for the honor of allowing me to ask the invocation today. Coach Dungy, certainly good to have you with us. Let us pray together. Gracious Heavenly Father, we take a moment to pause to give thanks this day for your goodness and for your grace. We ask your blessings upon this meal. May it be a nourishment to our bodies. Please bless the hands that prepared this food and the ones who have so graciously served us today. Lord, we humbly seek your blessing over our fellowship together. Please bless our protectors of peace. Lord, shield those who fight for our freedoms and cause the light of our liberty to shine brightly around this world. We pray for the families of our fallen heroes, and we ask, Lord, that you would comfort them. Lord, we give thanks for the very reason this club exists, to support the coaches and athletes in our community that so dramatically impact and influence us all. For each of them, from Pop Warner to professional athletes, for each of our sponsors that support this great cause, and for all in attendance today, I pray these three things. Father, give them integrity, so that as your word says in Proverbs 2:7, you may grant them understanding and offer them your shield of protection. Father, give them purity, so that as your word tells us in Psalm 51:10, that you might renew a right spirit within them. And finally, Father, give them wisdom, so that as your word tells us in Psalm 111:10, that you might bless them with riches that come with obedience. And now, Lord, for our brother, Coach Tony Dungy, I petition you from the prayer found in Psalm 19, that the words of his mouth and the meditations of his heart may be pleasing in your sight. O Lord, our rock and our redeemer. We pray these things in the name of God our Father, and Jesus Christ the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Amen and amen.
All right, folks, I've been doing this for almost 3 decades now. I've got a prize to give away. This is a first for me in all these many years of doing this, so it's might be the most valuable prize I've ever given away. At which table is Jesse Erickson? Where is Jesse Erickson? Right there, Jesse. Congratulations, you've won your own credit card, which was found on the ground here. I'm thinking in the millions is the actual value of this. Folks, credit card fraud is a real thing. Let this be a lesson to all of you tonight. Thank you for being here. Enjoy your lunch. We'll get going in 25 minutes. And again, thank you to our 50 Touchdown Club sponsor team members. You see them on the video screens here. And the Touchdown Club would like to thank Crown Sports Sales and Rydell for support of today's silent auction items. Make sure you get your bids in on the silent auction items. Raffle time, we've got 5 prizes to give away. So get your raffle tickets out. We'll be ready here. We've got Tyler helping us, so just come on down up front as soon as you hear your number. The first, Indianapolis Colts helmet autographed by Tony Dungy. Number is 528-0445. 528-0445. Anybody got that one? Anybody got that? Anybody got Jesse Erickson's credit card? Just checking. That's our 6th raffle item. One more time for 528-0445. Got it? All right, come on. Bring him up. Come on, let's get it. Congratulations. Come grab your helmet. Tyler's not coming to you. He's got other work to do. We don't pay Tyler enough to walk all the way over there. And while we got that one going, thank you, sir. Congratulations. Next, also autographed by our Hall of Famer, Tony Dungy, a Colts football. Right here to the right, and the winning number for that is 528-0610. 528-0610. I'm looking into a solar eclipse, so I can't see you if you're out there. Just come on up. You got it? All right, winner in the back. Let's hear it for our winner. Congratulations. Next up from the Tony Dungy collection, a Colts mini helmet autographed by Tony Dungy. Just like a regular helmet, but mini. Winning number is 5280517. 5280517. Anybody have that number? 5280517. This is supposed to be the short part of the program. Anybody? 5280517. Yay, we got a winner. Congratulations. Let's hear it for our winner. Congratulations. All right, 2 more to go. Next up, 2022 Luncheon Speaker Series Collage, autographed by Anthony Munoz, Chipper Jones, Marshall Falk, Tim Tebow, and Chris Berman. Back. 5280477. 5280477. A lot of drama in this. 5280477. We have a winner over here to the left. Congratulations. Let's hear it. 1 more to go. Thank you for your patience. 2022 Bronco Nagurski commemorative football, autographed by Will Anderson Jr., Kalijah Cansey, Chris Smith, Tuli Poluto, and Hugh Green, and Dax Hollifield. Winning number is 5280514. 5280514. If you got it, wave it over your head and we'll give it to you. Guys are making it hard today. 5280514. I feel like a substitute teacher, like no one's paying attention. Anybody? 5280514. Last chance. Okay. We good to move on? Let's try this one. You got it? Wait, hold up. All right, we got it. Okay. Right here. All right, thank you to all of our winners. You're all winners. I mean, everybody's a winner. However, at your table, there can only be, I don't know, 014, something like that. 14. Donate to somebody else. I guess, yeah, that's a way of doing it. Just act like you won. I don't know. I literally threw it back in the bucket. I don't know. Hey, you won. Let's say you won. Or you could share it. At your table, there is one autographed centerpiece at each of these tables. And there is one winner at each table. It's the one, if you look inside of the program, next to the picture of Sonny Dykes, it actually says the words, "You are the winner." And if you are the one at your table that has the "You are the winner" slogan inside of your centerpiece there, it's yours off the table to take with you. See, everyone wins. Lots of winners. All right. Congratulations to each of you. Also, we have some special guests in attendance. We mentioned some of them already, but thank you to our high school and middle school coaches, athletic directors, and administrators we have here today. And folks, if you could please, let's give a warm welcome and stand and honor some former U.S. and current military heroes in attendance here today. We thank those for attending the Honor Foundation. If you'd please stand, thank you for our military heroes who are all here with us in attendance today. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. All right, let's move on, and we have a special guest speaker to introduce our main guest speaker today because he's a teammate of Tony Dungy's, and I've known Donnie Shell for a number of years. He worked with the Carolina Panthers organization, as I mentioned, for 15 years as Director of Player Development, Rock Hill native, 5-time Pro Bowl player, Pittsburgh Steelers legend, and teammate of Tony Dungy, a Pro Football Hall of Famer. You'll notice the jacket when he gets up here, and a College Football Hall of Famer out of South Carolina State, Rock Hill's very own Mr. Donnie Shell.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Boy, the food must have been good. Y'all kind of going to sleep on us, man. I'd like to thank John Rocco and the Charlotte Touchdown Club for giving me this opportunity to introduce my good friend Tony Dungy. But before that, also, I'd like to say a word about our foundation, the Dungy Shell Scholarship Foundation. Tony Dungy had been a part of the celebrity golf tournament in the past. The Dungy Shell Legacy Golf Tournament is coming up in September. Proceeds from the tournament support the scholarship of deserving students at South Carolina State University and other HBCUs. Our foundation is built on the legacy of hope, empowerment, stewardship, and leadership. Everything is going on in the world today. The Dungy Shell Scholarship Foundation is blessed to help students attending local HBCUs to fulfill their post-secondary educational goals. And also at the table, you got a lot of stuff, but you also got an envelope. So you can fill this out and help us to encourage other people and other students who don't have the financial means to get their education. And now, I am honored to introduce one of my best friends, Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy loves the Lord and wants to help people with the challenges that life brings us every day. He has the God-given ability to draw people in conversations without them being threatened or intimidated. He is a wonderful husband to his wife, Lauren, and their children. He is a servant leader, one that is motivated by love and humility, but demonstrated by example. Tony and I go back since 1977. I remember, tell a short story with Bill Nunn, who's deceased now, is a Hall of Famer. He said, well, we got this All-American, was a quarterback in college. We're going to switch him to safety, Dungy, and we want him in the room with you. And I was in my third year. He was a rookie. I said, Bill, I don't know. I know about that. You know, rookies, you know, sometimes they get a little annoying. So by the time I left the lunchroom, he convinced me to let Tony room with me. Best decision I ever made in my life. A great man, great human being. Those things I shared about you with him, those are some of the things that you might have not have known about him. You know him as a coach and all the things he did on the field. But I enjoyed our relationship over the last 40 years. So with that said, please enjoy the video of my best friend, Tony Dungy.
Tony Dungy is a champion. As a player, as a coach, as a motivator,
go finish it off, man.
And as a role model. After signing with the Steelers as an undrafted free agent in 1977, the former University of Minnesota quarterback was converted to safety. The move paid off almost instantly as he led the Steelers in interceptions in 1978 and played a key role in their march to a Super Bowl XIII title.
Super Bowl 13, captured by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
After a playing career that lasted just 3 seasons, Dungy's coaching career was long and illustrious.
Under and up, under and up. The elbows in, Wash.
Over 15 years, with stops in Pittsburgh, KC, and Minnesota, Dungy earned a reputation as one of the game's brightest defensive minds. In 1996, he was hired as the head coach with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and immediately set about remaking the franchise, leading them to the playoffs in his second season.
And Tony Dungy pulls out a trick play.
Under Dungy, the Bucs became an annual postseason contender. He would take over the Indianapolis head coaching job in 2002. As in Tampa, Dungy's Colts would become an annual fixture in the playoffs. After several seasons of knocking on the door, the breakthrough finally came in 2006. Dungy's team would finally knock off its AFC nemesis, the Belichick-Brady Patriots.
Colts are going to the Super Bowl. Tony Dungy will join his great friend Lovie Smith at the Super Bowl on this historic day.
They would follow up that AFC title game win with a victory in Super Bowl 41, the first for a head coach of color, a milestone for Dungy and the fraternity of African-American coaches in the sport. Dungy retired from coaching after the 2008 season, having won nearly 67% of his games. He left his mark not only as a winner, but also as a teacher, nurturing a generation of coaching standouts. Throughout his career and beyond, Dungy's charitable works and commitment to a life of faith and integrity have carried an impact that rivals his impressive on-field resume.
Super Bowl champion as a player, as a coach, Pro Football Hall of Famer with the gold jacket. You see him as America's football analyst every week during football season, Mr. Tony Dungy.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you, John, for the invitation, and thank you to everyone for coming out today. This is a real honor for me to be here. It's an honor and a pleasure. Number one, gosh, so many good people that I know here in Charlotte, and my best friend there, I'll talk about him in a minute. Tommy Barnhart, I saw him, who punted for us in Tampa. He lives here now. Bill Polian, my general manager in Indianapolis, is just a great friend and a great mentor, and he lives here, and so great to see those people. But also just fantastic and an honor for me to be out here with the Touchdown Club to support youth sports here in the Charlotte area. I think it's so important, the lessons we learn from sports and how we grow these young men and women. And so to be here to support that, it's really outstanding. I'm also very excited to be here for one other reason, and that is because of the new leadership with your hometown Panthers team. Frank Reich is a tremendous man, tremendous coach, and I'm so excited for the Panthers, and I'm so excited for the area because I know what type of leadership they're going to get. And they're going to be excellent on the field, but Coach Reich is going to make an impact in so many other ways just because of his character and the way he does things. He brought along another good friend of mine by the name of Jim Caldwell, who is a tremendous man of God as well, a tremendous leader and a tremendous developer of quarterbacks. So that being said, with Frank Reich here and Jim Caldwell here, who had so much success with Peyton Manning and Matthew Stafford, and we could go on and on and on. And they've got the first pick in the draft. So they get the best quarterback in college football, whoever they think is the best, and they've got these guys to develop them. It's going to be outstanding. Now, I have to say, I live in Tampa, and I work for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is not good news for Tampa because something special is happening here. And I'm excited to see it. I really am. These guys are going to do great. They've got a tremendous coaching staff, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen. More than anything, because, as I said, there's going to be an impact on the field and off the field. And to me, that's what sports is all about. That's what it should be. That's what youth sports should be. And that's what we really want to be here to celebrate and support. I'm going to tell you my story very briefly because I think it just ties into that storyline. I started out the son of two teachers in a little small town, Jackson, Michigan, and my parents were educators. My mom was a very, very good athlete. My dad was a boxer and a cross-country guy. He liked individual sports, but it didn't take me long to get into sports, and I enjoyed it, and I tried to play everything and learn everything. And most of my training and most of my thought process about life, I ended up really developing from my coaches, and I had the blessing of having some tremendous coaches along the way. I got to Parkside High School in Jackson, Michigan. I was a 14-year-old sophomore quarterback. I've got my good friend who lived down the street from Parkside in the front row there. But I ended up playing for a coach by the name of Dave Driscoll. And I learned an awful lot from him. It was hard lessons because I didn't really listen well back then. I was 14, so I obviously was smarter than the coach, so I didn't have to listen. But one of the things I took from Coach Driscoll, I'll never forget, I was going to be a quarterback. He wanted to talk to me about leadership and leading and doing things the right way, and he gave me a little card, and I think he may have gotten it from John Wooden, I'm not sure, but it was something he said to me when I was 14, I'll never forget. He said, "Talent is God-given, be thankful. Praise is man-given, be humble. Conceit is self-given, be careful." And at 14, I was like, well, what does this mean, Coach? And he said, hey, you're going to be a leader. We're going to have a good team. You're going to get a lot of compliments. And you should, but understand where that comes from. God's given you some ability. Be thankful for that. Okay, you're going to have some good teammates, some good coaching. We're going to win games. People are going to say good things about that. Be humble. Just keep your nose to the grindstone. Keep working hard, and you're going to be okay. Don't think that you did it all on your own. And if you do that, you're going to be in good shape. Well, he was right. I tried to do that and keep my nose to the grindstone and keep working. And it resulted in me getting a scholarship to the University of Minnesota. And I played at Minnesota, and my coach was a guy by the name of Cal Stahl, and now I'm 17 years old. So my coach was a little smarter than Coach Driscoll, in my opinion, because now I was 3 years older, so I was listening a little harder. And in the first team meeting we had my freshman year at Minnesota, Coach Stahl said that his goal was to win a Big Ten championship, to win a national championship. And to do that, he was going to need some uncommon men. He said that success is uncommon and won't be enjoyed by the common man. He said, I can go to the library, I can go to the dorm, I can get a lot of common people who are just okay being average, who are just okay getting by, but we won't win that way. We need uncommon men, and that's what I'm looking for. And then he went on to say, and I'm writing this down as I'm sitting in the first row where my mom told me to sit and had my notebook out. I'm writing all this down. He said, there's two ways you can be uncommon. He said, number one, you can have a talent or a skill so rare that no one else has it, and that way you'll stand out from the crowd. Or number two, you can have the attitude, the determination, and the drive that allows you to do what everybody else could do, but most people won't. And as soon as I wrote that down, I said, well, you know what, that's me, Coach. If that's all it takes is drive, determination, the will to do all the little things that everybody else could do, I can do that. So I made that my mantra in college. And I was always there before the coaches were there. When the door was locked, I would sit on the steps and wait for my coaches to get there. I wanted to graduate in 4 years. That was something I promised my mom and dad, so I took all the classes. I went over and got my workouts early, or I came late and got a workout. So finally, my junior year, Coach Stahl gave me a key to the building. He said, I'm tired of seeing you sitting on the steps. So we'll get you a key. Just don't give it to anyone else. You can come in anytime you want, work out, watch film, whenever. And I did. And I worked very, very hard. And I tried to outwork everybody on that team. And once again, it paid off for me. I had a chance to go to the Canadian Football League and play quarterback. Bill Polian was the general manager of the Montreal Alouettes. They had my rights. He and Marv Levy. Marv was the head coach, and they came and talked to me, come up to the Canadian League, and your style will fit right in. You'll be a good player. We've got a lot of money for you. And I said, well, let me just wait and see what happens in the NFL draft. It's kind of this time of year. So I waited, and I didn't get drafted. And Bill, of course, said, hey, that ought to tell you something. You ought to come up here with us. And a day or two later, the Pittsburgh Steelers called. And they said, we would like you to come with us. We have a guy by the name of Terry Bradshaw. We don't need you to play quarterback. But Coach Knoll would like to switch you to another position, maybe switch you to defense. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm weighing this, okay. Montreal Alouettes, play quarterback, my normal position. They were going to give me a ton of money. Pittsburgh Steelers, switch positions to a place you've never played. You don't know anything about defense, and they're going to give you $2,000. That's what I do. Something inside me, I still can't explain it. Bill can't explain it today. I went to Pittsburgh, I changed positions, and signed with the Steelers for $2,000. I get there, and in the very first meeting, I'm at, once again in the front row with my notebook. They've won 2 Super Bowls already. They've got 11 guys on the team who eventually would be in the Hall of Fame. Best coach that anyone could ever play for. And I'm sitting there thinking, Coach Knoll's going to tell us how to win more Super Bowls. He's going to tell me how to make the team. And I expected him to say, hey, everything that you've done so far, the dedication you've had, you got to ramp that up. You got to be more intense because this is tougher. And to my surprise, he said, welcome to the National Football League. You're now getting paid to play football, so that makes it your profession. But don't make football your life. Do not make football your whole life. He said, I'm here to help you find your life's work. Some of it, net fulfillment, will be on the field, but some of it will not. And we've got to find out what's going to help you be fulfilled, but it won't be all football. If you make football your whole life, you're going to leave the game disappointed. Well, that was a real blessing for me and a surprise. I was kind of shocked at that. So the next thing that happens is the story that Donnie told. I knew nothing about defense, had never played defense in my life, had never tackled anybody. In practice, I had a red jersey on, so they couldn't touch me. How in the world am I going to do this? So Coach Knoll and a gentleman by the name of Bill Nunn, one of our lead personnel people, say, hey, you're going to be roommates with this guy, Donnie Shell. Just do what he does, listen to him, you're going to learn and you're going to be okay. And they were right. That was maybe the best thing that ever happened to me, because I watched Donnie Shell and I watched how he played, but he taught me a lot more than that. Okay? He taught me how to be a man, how to be a Christian man. He taught me how to be a husband. He taught me how to be a father. He taught me what was really important in life. And I owe him a lot. I would not have a gold jacket without Donnie Shell. And we ended up becoming best friends, but he was a role model. And between him, Coach Knoll, and our owner, Art Rooney Sr., they shaped my philosophy of life going forward and my philosophy that I wanted to use in coaching. Donnie showed me how to work hard, how to pay attention, how to be a good teammate. Coach Knoll taught me the game of football for 2 years as a player and then 8 years as an assistant coach. And then the other thing that happened to me when you were a rookie and you made the team with the Steelers, Mr. Rooney called you into his office. And he called me in after I made the team, and he said, hey, congratulations. You're going to enjoy it here. We've got great players. We've got great coaches. We've got tremendous fans. You're going to be part of the Steeler organization. You're going to have people waving towels. They're going to, buy your jerseys, all of that. They're going to support you, and it's going to be awesome. But you cannot just take that in. We want you to give back. We want you to move here to Pittsburgh. We want you to become part of the community. I want you to make Pittsburgh a better place to live, not just at 1 o'clock on Sundays when we're playing, but we want you to make Pittsburgh a better place to live 24/7. You'll have opportunities for community service. We'll have sign-up, things you can do to feel a part of it. Well, that's one of the reasons why that Steeler Nation is so strong, and the fans are all over the place for the Steelers because of that. But it really shaped me. And between Coach Noel, Art Rooney, and Donnie Shell, they showed me that just playing football, just cashing checks, just getting Super Bowl rings, that's not what it's all about. So I had a great time there for 10 years in Pittsburgh. Coach Noel modeled it. He modeled family. He modeled togetherness. I saw it from the players. And then I started thinking, one of these days, I'll be able to coach my own team. I'll be able to get some of these things across. And sure enough, 15 years later, I got hired by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as the head coach. They had had 13 straight losing seasons when I got the job. And I remember in my first meeting with that group, I said, hey, gentlemen, we're here because we haven't been winning. They hired me to try to turn that around. We're going to do that. We're going to win. But if that's all we do, if all we do is win, it won't matter. It won't make a difference. We have to not make football our whole life. We have to find out how we're going to get fulfillment. We have to make Tampa a better place to live while we win. And we've got to be good role models. We've got to be that standard that young people look at and say, I want to be like so-and-so. I want to be like this guy. That's important to me, and we're going to do that. We're not going to win with bad character people. So that was my first meeting, and it rubbed off. It rubbed off on guys. And it took us a little while. It took us a long while to win our first game. I thought it was going to happen a lot quicker, but we did start winning. Eventually, we made the playoffs, and we became that team that Tampa was proud of. But I was even more proud that we had guys who got the message off the field. One of the first guys that came into my office after that first talk was a gentleman named Derek Brooks. I think you guys had him here a couple of years ago. And Derek came in after I had given about a 45-minute talk about all the things we were going to do off the field. And Derek said, Coach, I was a rookie last year, and we lost more games in 1 year than I've lost in my whole life. What are we going to do about winning? And I said, Derek, we are going to win. That's how we're going to win. And we're going to do both. But winning isn't going to be the most important thing. And he thought about that, he chewed on that, and he became one of our leaders. He became one of the people that got that message out to the younger guys. About a year later, he came into my office. He said, Coach, I know what you mean. I understand what you mean, and I want to do something in this community. He said, I've been hanging around this Boys and Girls Club, and I see some kids who have some really, really good potential, but they just need a little guidance and they need a little direction. So he started what he called the Brooks Bunch. And he went to this Boys and Girls Club and said, if you guys will commit to doing a few things, I'll commit to financing a trip for you and taking you on a trip anywhere you want to go. Here's the few things that you're going to have to do. Okay? No unexcused absences from school, no problems with the law, no drugs and alcohol, 3.5 grade average. Okay, you do that and we'll take a trip. And so he had, I think, 9 kids the first year that made it through. They wanted to go to Atlanta and see Dr. King's birthplace. He got a bus and took them up there. Kids came back, had a great time, passed it around. Hey, this Mr. Brooks, he's pretty serious about this. The next year they had 19 kids that actually made it. And they wanted to go to Washington, D.C., so he got another bus, took them up there, had a great time, come back, had a few more guys and ladies that made it. The third year, they had 21 kids, and they said they wanted to go to South Africa and see where Nelson Mandela lived. That's when Derek came back into my office and said, Coach, I need some help. But I was glad to help him. My wife and I chaperoned that trip, and it was one of the most meaningful things that I can remember. Those kids now have graduated from medical school and graduated from law school. These were kids that had never been outside of Tampa, had great potential, but just needed somebody to help them and encourage them. Derek Brooks was that guy. After his first year, he also told me one other thing. He said, Coach, we need some explosiveness on offense. There's a teammate of mine at Florida State that we ought to draft, and I'm telling you, he's special. And his name was Warwick Dunn. We ended up drafting Warwick Dunn the next year, and he was special. He was Offensive Rookie of the Year that year. What people don't know is that his mom had gotten killed. She was a police officer, and she had gotten killed in a bank robbery. And Warwick had basically taken over raising his 3 teenage siblings, so he won the Rookie of the Year while he was getting his 3 younger siblings through high school. Unbelievable. But he came to me after he heard the speech about making Tampa a better place to live. He said, Coach, I'd like to do something in honor of my mom. I'd like to help some single moms out. So he took part of his bonus money, made a down payment on the house, and moved a single mom and her family into the house. That was 1998. And I just got a letter from him. Said, Coach, you'd really be proud. I just did my 200th house. Our quarterback on that team was a young man named Trent Dilfer. Trent was the 6th pick in the draft, highly ranked coming out, had a really, really nice career. He spent part of it with us, then he went to Baltimore and won a Super Bowl. He just got the head coaching job at the University of Alabama, Birmingham. And we have a UAB grad back there. He asked me to come down. I was there about 3 weeks ago. He said, would you come and speak to my staff and speak to our players? It'd be awesome to have you here, Coach, and talk about the things that you talked about with us. So I went there and visited, had a great time with him. And when I was sitting in his office, he told me something that just made me laugh. He said, Coach, when I was there playing for you, I used to hate it when you talked about that kind of stuff. I'm like, why can't you just tell me how to be a better quarterback? Tell me what I do on 60 basic. Why do we have to go into all this? And it just used to rub me, and I used to just want to scream sometimes. But you know what? Now I'm telling my players the same thing. I'm talking about being a man, talking about growing up, talking about responsibility, talking about being a role model. Where did I get that from? Very rewarding, very rewarding. Well, it goes full circle. I mentioned Frank Reich coming here. In 2006, I'm coaching the Indianapolis Colts. Bill Poland's my general manager. And he says, hey, there's a young guy that I had in Buffalo. He wants to get into coaching. I think he'd be really, really good. Can we hire him as an intern? And it was Frank Reich. And we hired Frank, and he was there 5 minutes, and you saw, man, this guy's got it. He's got that it. He's a leader. He's a good communicator. He's a team player. He's special. He's going to do something special. Well, we go on. We win the Super Bowl that year. Frank, why don't you come work with us full time? Well, it would, but I'm actually going to seminary school. I want to be a minister. I think I'm called to do that. Well, how can I argue with that? So, okay, I got it, Frank. So he steps away, goes to school down here, is in the seminary, but then calls Bill back and says, you know what, I think I can have a ministry in football. And Jim Caldwell ends up hiring him full-time, and just a fantastic coach. He goes to Philadelphia, helps Philadelphia win a Super Bowl, goes back to Indianapolis, is doing great, and now he's going to come here and he's going to do the same things. He's going to instill in his players not only the need for excellence and hard work and dedication, but they're going to be great off the field too. They're going to be role models that you're going to be proud of. Frank was on my staff for a while. Jim Caldwell was on my staff for a while. He took a team to a Super Bowl. Mike Tomlin was on my staff for a while, getting the same feedback. He took a team to a Super Bowl. Lovie Smith was on my staff. Same feedback, same sentiments. He goes to Chicago. He takes a team to a Super Bowl. So that's the message, and that's what we want to get out to our youth. It can be done. You can do it well. You can be excellent. You can achieve, and you can still have high morals, high values, be a great teammate, do things the right way, and don't make your sport your whole life. Don't make your business your whole life. Win on the field and off the field. That's why we're all here today. That's what we're wanting to support, and I just thank you for being here today and helping the Touchdown Club support youth sports in the Charlotte area. And with that, Jim, I think we've got an opportunity to do some question and answer.
Just raise your hand. We'll get 3 or 4 questions from you guys. And Tony, fire away.
All right. I don't know if anyone has a question. There's one gentleman. If you could stand up nice and loud, that'd be great. He said, if I was picking number 1, who would I pick? And I'm not going to speak out of school and speak for Frank Reich, but I will say this. I haven't met all the quarterbacks, but I did meet Bryce Young at the Super Bowl. Okay? And he was with his parents. Okay? And I talked to Bryce Young's parents for about 15 minutes, and I came away thinking, if I was picking, I'd pick this guy because I know how he's been raised. And Bill, where's Bill? Where? To the right. Right here. Okay. You remember when you had to choose the first pick in the draft, and there was a couple of quarterbacks. I think knowing the parents of one of those quarterbacks made a difference, and you knew how he was raised, and you knew the kind of guy he was going to be. So I think when you're picking high, that makes a difference. I'm not going to say what the Panthers are going to do, but Tony Dungy, if I was picking, I'd pick Bryce Young. Anyone? Yes, sir. What do I miss the most about coaching? To me, it was that feeling of togetherness and camaraderie, and you have 15 coaches and you have 60 players and everybody's a common goal, and you're putting it together and you're coming in and you're working hard every day, and how can we work together and do this? There just aren't that many places out there where you have that and you kind of know how it's coming right away. You see the results and being able to put it together. Nothing is gratifying. As I mentioned, going to Tampa, 13 straight losing seasons, and then we lost 8 of our first 9 games. But then to come back the next year and make it to the playoffs and have a crowd, lined up at the ticket office trying to buy playoff tickets for the first time in 15 years, those are things that you never forget. Those were the special times, the feeling that, hey, we did this together, and I think that's what I miss more than anything.
2 more.
Coach, a lot of us in the room are involved in All Pro Dads. Can you talk a lot about that organization, a little bit about that organization?
Yeah, All Pro Dad, and we are, I think, going to have an event here with the Panthers very, very soon. But that really started in 1997, same time. We had several guys on our staff, coaches, who said, gosh, we're starting to win, and everything is great, and we're getting a lot of positive feedback from the community. But are we doing really as good a job as our dads did? Gosh, my dad never missed an event that I had, never missed anything that my brothers or sisters were involved in, and I'm kind of missing everything. How can I be better at this job of being a father? So we went across town to the offices of Family First. We met a gentleman by the name of Mark Merrill, and he said, hey, we've got some tips for fathers. And he gave us 4 or 5 tips for our coaching staff, and they really were good, and we were excited, and we said thank you. And he said, well, you guys aren't the only ones. Coaches aren't the only ones that have this issue. We're trying to get this across to all men, and maybe you could help us out a little bit. So we kind of put our heads together, and we said, we'll come up with this slogan. It takes a lot of work to be an all-pro football player. It takes the same amount of work to be an all-pro dad, and that's where the organization started. It's now branched out into 48 states. We have chapter meetings in about 1,500 schools across the country, and it's been awesome. And it is very gratifying to me when I'm in an airport and someone will come up to me and say, hey, we started an All-Pro Dad chapter, and it's really been great. It's really had an impact in our schools. So we're excited about it. One of those things that I've gotten involved in off the field. So thank you for asking that.
Do one more, right here to the right.
What made me want to become, or us, become a foster family? Very good question. We have 11 kids right now. The last 8 of them were all adopted from their 22 years old down to 7. I was coaching in Tampa at the time. Thank you. I was coaching in Tampa at the time, and we're talking to this lady who ran an adoption agency, and she said, I really need some help because we work with crisis pregnancy centers, we urge women not to have abortions, and we promise them, if you see this pregnancy through to term and to life, we'll find an adoptive family for you. She said, we're really struggling. This was in 2000. She said, we're really struggling to find African-American adoptive parents. We've got a backlog of African-American and biracial kids. And my wife said, what are you talking about? I said, all we hear is how difficult it is, and people are on long waiting lists, and they're going overseas. She said, no, we have a backlog, and we need to get these kids adopted. So we adopted a little boy in 2000, and my wife was just thrilled. So 2001, 2004, 2006, 2010, so now we have 11 kids. But it was in answer to that we started adopting. Not too long ago, about 6 years ago in Tampa, they asked us to do a public service announcement for the foster care system. Again, same thing. It's overrun, it's overworked, they've got kids coming in, no place to do it. I said, oh, this may not be good. So my wife and we do the PSA, she reads the script, what, overrun? They need help? I said, honey, we've got 11 kids. We have 3 foster kids in our house right now. That's the way she is. So it really was a response to need. And it's easy to say, yes, somebody ought to do something about that. I can make a commercial. Jim, why don't you help out? Why don't you do that? But no, really, sometimes you have to say, we'll be part of the solution, and my wife is great at that. So that's how we got involved. Thank you.
The great Tony Dungy. Great inspiration. Folks, thank you all for being here. Thank you to Northwestern Mutual. Thanks to Pinnacle Financial Partners, Radio 1 Charlotte. May 31st, Smoltzy, John Smoltz, former Atlanta Brave great, will be here. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for being here.